Hello and welcome back to another review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. This week we've jumped away from Scotland, we've headed over to Ireland, put in for Paddy's week, St Paddy's Day. I've went with all green and I've found this in my cupboard, something that I forgot I've had, and as you can see I'm not far off from finishing it. So what I've got here is a Green Spot single pot Irish whiskey, which is a Chateau Le Vieux-Barton wine cask finish. So with Green Spot they have green, yellow, blue and red. The spots from this, what they do mean back in the day when they were aging their whiskey, they would just put little dots on and it meant for how long they would be aging them. So I think the green was around about 10 years, the blue was younger and the yellow was, so I think blue was 7, green was 10, yellow was 12 and then the red was 15 or more. So they just put these on the cask so we knew, but when they got bottled they've kept the same traditions. You can see the green spots right here and we've also got one right on the cork. But there's more to this than believe. So we look at this just now. The Green Spot itself is from Middleton Distillery in County Cork. I think they've been there since about 1975, something like that. They have a huge array of different as well. So I think Redbreast come from there, Powers, I think there's loads of others. But this for me being one of the best that they've got if you take out Redbreast. There's a huge connection though between the Chateau Le Vieux-Barton because these guys, the Barton family, were actually Irish as well. They were known as the Wine Geese. So the Wine Geese was a set of Irish descendants that travelled the world and set up wineries, and the Barton family set up in Bordeaux and have this great winery. This is one of the first ever Bordeaux wine cask finished Irish whiskies that was on the market. Been aged between 12 and 24 months is what it's been finished in, as we call seasoning. So it's been seasoned for 12 to 24 months, and the wine cask, the red wine cask, starts off with fresh white oak, ex-bourbon and ex-Oloroso sherry, then finished off to mature in this. It doesn't have an age statement, but looking up on it, I think it is 12 years old is what I was able to kind of see. It's 46%. I think it's natural colour, non-chill filter. I'm going to say it is. The only thing I couldn't find on it. But being Irish whiskey, part of their rules are it has to be triple distilled. So it's been triple distilled from malted and unmalted barley. The single pot means kind of like single malt. It came from one distillery. So the single pot is from the single pot distillery of Middleton, and it's got loads of wee things, little like stamps and things on it to show exactly where it's from. Mitchell and Son Wines and Spirits in Dublin is one of the oldest, and this is a connection of where Robert Mitchell started his life as a whiskey and wine merchant, and it's still one of these that hold high today. We'll get into this though. There is a lot of history. Irish whiskey, I am not as clued up on in history, so if I've absolutely butchered that, I do apologise. But let's get it on the nose. I like the bottle and everything, we'll get back to that in a second. This has been sitting in the glass for a wee bit, but the colour's superb. 46%. I'm going to say non-chill filtered natural colour. It's quite leathery. Kind of, is it potpourri, that kind of fresh, kind of more flowery note with it, with the nice rich berries, maybe more of the dried fruits, dried strawberries, dried raspberries. Sweet, it's got that kind of little, I would say maybe a little tiny funk to it. It's got a similarity to Campbelltown for me. It's not got that huge hit of sulphur, but there's something there, the kind of little funk, the little dirt, but that kind of freshness that comes underneath. I think that's got to be with the wine. It smells wonderful. Right, let's try this. Happy Paddy's Day, everyone. It's dry. I think that's kind of a lot to do with the wine. Spicy. Longevity on the mouth. The fruit's coming through more. A little bit of spice again. but it's got a long mouthfeel. It's quite creamy mouthfeel to it, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to find anything else on here that I can talk about that I'm not too sure on. We look at triple distilled whisky. The other thing we can talk about is Hazelburn's triple distilled, and Auchentoshan famously is triple distilled. That is the closest that we will get to Irish whisky without being it. And I've not tried much of either Auchentoshan or Hazelburn. I think I've got a Hazelburn in there in my cupboard. I don't think this needs any water whatsoever. I'm not going to add any to this. I think I've had water with it before, but I've just enjoyed it on its own. I've shared some of this too, but I actually won this in a competition, an online thing, which I was able to get quite lucky on. There's no smoke, nothing like that. It's just more kind of wee bit of funk, dried fruits, potpourri, floral sweetness, spicy on the palate. It's very oily, rich now. It's really good. It's something different. You know, it's red wine cask can be very, very hit and miss for me. This is a total hit. I don't even think I've tried a standard green spot or anything standard. This is the first ever kind of dwell into Irish whiskey that I've had, and I really enjoy it. I don't turn my nose up to Irish whiskey. I just feel like I know more about Scotch whiskey than I do about Irish, but it's not going to stop me from drinking it. I think it's just always good to open the palate up and try different things. And I do feel if I was put in front of me in a blind tasting and I was told to pick out the Irish whiskey, and if you put it side by side with something similar from, say, Campbelltown, potentially Springbank 10, I would struggle. Definitely would. It's maybe a kind of alternative, you may maybe call it, to a Springbank or something there. I really like it. It's really enjoyable in the nose. That leathery kind of note now to it, the strawberryness, the potpourri, the floral hits, that kind of red fruit sweetness with the dried fruit, spicy on the palate, longevity on the palate, wee bit of spice at the end there too, dry, wee bit of, it's not funk, it's another word I can't describe, just characteristics from Campbelltown. I'll go with that. Also, I'd like to say I'm so close to 700 subs as well. People have been subscribing, leaving comments. I've been trying to get back to people. So again, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed already, feel free to do so. Every Friday we've got something going out. I just thank you all for your support and watching me talk about whiskey on a weekly basis. I really, really enjoy it. What I'm also going to enjoy is going to go and sit back and have this. So on a wee final note from me, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there who's celebrating it all over the world. This is my little ode to the Irish heritage, and we've jumped overseas, not too far, to Greenspot, Middleton, for a Bordeaux wine cask finish whiskey. So as always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. Join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Slange.